Hi, my name is Bekah. Welcome to my video series, Everyday English Every Day. Now, this is the first video in my new series of Conversation Flow. It's created for both native and non-native English speakers. For the English practice, it's a different take because it's more about keeping up with the conversation, not me actually explaining the vocabulary and grammar in so much detail like in my other videos. So it's just a new way for you to practice and also a way to share some information with native English speakers too. All right, so what is tapping? That's what we're talking about today. This is part one of a two-part series. It's super important to watch both videos, right? They go together. So we're going to talk about why tap, what's the reason? And we're going to talk about how to tap. I'm going to explain the process. And for a little more, I'm going to have you tap with me as like a little demonstration, a little practice so you can check it out. All right, so be sure to subscribe to my channel and give my video a like. You can always write comments, ask questions. I am new to this myself. I've only been tapping for about 2 months or so. I was in a challenge and tapping was one of the activities and I did it and I loved it. And I did it like 2 years ago. I got emails with a bunch of tapping videos and, I watched a couple of them and I just did not get it. I was not into it. It wasn't doing anything for me. So I stopped. But I'm kind of in a big transformation mode. I'm trying to do some changes. So like, I need to help my energy flow. I need to change some things that have been programmed in me, and tapping helps me do that. So what is tapping? So tapping is a combination of ancient Chinese acupressure and modern psychology that works to physically alter your brain, body, and energy systems all at once. Right? So the pressure, right? Acupressure, we're talking about pressure points, and modern psychology because we're talking through our issues, our emotions, our problems. Remember, that's our mind, body, soul, right? That's what we're working on, not just one thing, right? Sometimes we are just worried about our bodies, right? Just exercising or doing something, but we really need to get that mind, body, and soul working together to live to our fullest potential. It's an alternative treatment for physical pain and emotional distress. So most of our physical pain comes from emotional distress. I'm reading the book, The Healing Code, and it's very interesting. It's very related to tapping and, or just energy in our bodies. And it says that all of our issues come from the heart, right? We need to heal our heart before we can heal anything else. Tapping on our body's energy meridian points stimulates them and allows us to tap into our body's energy while acknowledging and talking through traumatic memories and a wide range of emotions. Okay, so we're tapping into our own body's energy, right? When you tap into something, it's like you connect with it. So if I have a barrel of beer, I put a tap on so I can tap into it and pour myself a glass, right? Tapping is a way we can tap into our own potential, our own energy. I think it's super powerful because it's us that's taking control. No one's doing it for us. We are the ones that are accessing this energy and trying to reprogram ourselves by doing this. So it's that physical thing, right? The acupressure, you're actually touching pressure points, but it's also, we're acknowledging and talking about what's wrong so we can get over it. If we hide what's going on really like deep inside of us, we're never going to heal from it. So tapping helps wipe out negative thoughts and limiting beliefs, right? These things hold us back. Limiting beliefs are when we think things that don't allow us to rise up and live to our fullest potential, right? They hold us back, right? They tell us we're not good enough. They tell us that we're scared and we shouldn't try new things. So we need to get rid of, right? When we wipe something out, we erase it, we get rid of it. Our brains are like a computer, right? So we have this self-talk that we're always talking to ourselves in our heads, right? So that computer, it's always running. That self-talk is always on in the background. So when you say things like, oh, I'm too old to do that, I don't remember things well, oh, I have such a hard time practicing English or speaking English, I never feel good when I run, or I still don't feel good, or I can't lose weight even though I'm running so much, right? We tell these things and they become part of us, right? Our subconscious begins to always tell us these things, like they're ingrained in us, they're rooted in us. So tapping helps change that. When we tap on the endpoints of the meridians, we send a calming signal to the amygdala, the fight or flight response center in the brain. This is the part that is activated when we are in distress or in pain. I recently took a course at my church with the church group, and it talked about hijacking the amygdala. So this is when we have a lot of stress, right? We have cortisol and adrenaline that start being pumped out, right? We have all this happening and we're getting ready to fight or flight. The reason is that our reactions first stop there before they go to the part of our brain that can actually process what's going on. So if we are just conditioned to respond and respond and respond, that's what happens. And we never even really think about it until it's too late, until something happened, something negative happened, right? So tapping calms this, and it helps us, it allows us to be able to easily or more easily take the time to hold our reactions so that we can give our brain actually the time to process. I love that too, because then I think, oh, it's not my fault, right? I'm reacting because that's what it's telling me to react. I just need to make sure I need to wait till it gets to the second part of my brain, and then I can be in control, right? So again, very powerful because it's putting us in the driver's seat. So do you want to change your brain? Are you ready to overcome negative self-talk? Tapping helps turn off the negative reaction to situations that we have. I love that. I need that for sure. Tapping is a way to hack our brain, right? It gets into our brain and makes changes. So then we can be more productive, we can perform better, and we can be more positive. The goal, I guess, is attaining a peace of mind where we can achieve our desires with a level of clarity and ease, right? We have to reprogram ourselves to remind us it can be easy, right? To have that calming effect, to have that power and clarity, to be able to see that not everything needs to be a struggle, right? Our self-talk tells us it's a struggle. We need to change our self-talk. Tapping can help us. All right, so what are these meridian points? There are 8 main tapping points and 1 point on our hand, okay? But in the body, there are 12 major meridians. So they just focus on 9 of them when you tap. It's like a sequence that you do. So the first one is here, okay? Now you can tap either side, it doesn't matter. I don't know, I think I changed it up, but you can also, when we start tapping, you can tap with your 2 fingers in places that have 2 places, or you can just do 1. They say it doesn't really matter. There's not like, don't worry about being super accurate in a pressure point, and use 1 or 2 hands, whatever you feel most comfortable with. I like to use 2 on the ones that I can. That's just me, right? Do what feels good for you. The top of our head is 1, but notice we start on the karate chop and then we go directly to the eyebrow and we go down, and then we're going to go to the top of the head, but that's really the last one when we do our first tapping cycle. Notice how these are all connected with our organs, right? So we have the eyebrow, which is like in between, like where the eyebrows start, kind of. The side of the eyes, under the eye, under the nose, the chin, the beginning of the collarbone. Kind of find your collarbone and like go right under it and do there. And then under the arm, it's kind of like right where my like bra strap is underneath my arm. And then I'll go, on the top of my head to complete that first cycle. So these are the places that we're tapping, right? And each time we tap, we should be there tapping between like 7 to 10 times. We basically say that affirmation or talk about the problem. Each thing we say, we move to a different point. All right, so what are we going to be saying? Well, first what we do is we identify the issue. We focus on the negative emotion. What's the problem? How is it making me feel? We acknowledge the issue when we do this. We say, we have a problem. That's the first step, right? If we don't acknowledge it and accept that we have a problem, we're never going to change. Test the initial intensity of the emotion or the issue, okay? So be like, how is this making me feel? Do I feel like an 8? Say a scale like from 1 to 10, 1 being the least, 10 being the most, right? The highest, the most severe issue, right? Am I an 8? Well, it depends, right? It depends on you. What number are you? Accept yourself despite the problem, right? No matter what, we're going to tell our problem, we're going to say, but I love, honor, and respect myself in this moment, right? Because we have to accept where we're at in the moment. We can accept we want to change, but first we have to accept what's really happening so we can change. Then we're going to do the tapping. We're going to press the different points or tap on the different points and talk through our feelings and emotions. We're going to go from negative to positive. Then we're going to test the final intensity of the issue or problem. We're going to talk about, how we feel now. Did it help us? Were we an 8 and now we feel like a 4? Or maybe we were a 9 and now we feel like a 6. Hopefully it's lower. If it's not, maybe it's not for you in the moment, right? Again, I'm sharing my experience. I've had a lot of success with it. It makes me feel good. I've talked with others that they like it too, right? So it's just a tool you could have if you want. All right, so let's go through and see how would we tap. Let's pretend that we're gonna do it and we need to figure out what the plan is. How do I decide what I need to tap about? First, you name the emotion. Okay, so we could say, I'm angry at my boss. Give the reason for the emotion. I'm angry at my boss because he doesn't appreciate me or understand how hard I work. Now, that's enough for now. We can tap on that and we can go through it and just do a tap on that, okay? Now, if you do it a couple of times, and it's still kind of bothering you, maybe we need to go deeper. So to go deeper, we ask these questions. What does this behavior remind you of, right? Because there's something that's bothering you. You've seen this in the past probably. So we're shifting our attention to the other memory and the emotions involved. I'm angry and hurt because my dad would always criticize me when I was a child. Okay, now we know why we're sensitive. Now we know why we're reacting when our boss isn't appreciating us. We can take it one step further, go a little deeper, and tell about the physical issues we feel that are related to this, right? I feel a knot in my stomach from the stress. Do you have tension in your shoulders? Does your neck hurt? Do you have a stomach ache? Do you get migraines? Okay. So if I want to go deep in this one, I could say, even though I'm angry at my boss because he doesn't appreciate my work or understand how hard I work, and I have a knot in my stomach from this stress, I love, honor, and accept myself in this moment. Okay, so that's the first part. Now, be sure to watch part 2 next, okay? I'm gonna upload the videos at the same time, so it's a 2-part series. We're gonna get a little more detail. We're gonna get into more detail about what we actually do, the process, right? And then we're gonna do a little practice, a little demonstration, okay? So thanks for joining me. I hope you found this information interesting, right? Something to think about to see if it's something you might wanna try. Like my videos, subscribe to my channel. I usually post new videos on Monday and Wednesdays. There's lots of stuff for mindset and trying to live to our greatest potential. So check out some of the other videos that are up here. Comment below, ask me questions. You can send me an email too. If you love tapping like I do, send me a message and let's chat about tapping sometime. I'd love to hear about your experience and learn more. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.